All right, so I did not separate my eggs yet. I'm going to do that right now. Thought I had a bowl. So you got to be really careful when you're separating the eggs. Try to keep the yolks whole. Can you see my counter?
Yes.
Yes,
You can see it.
All right, so I'm just separating eggs. So I'm going back and forth, trying to keep that yolk intact. Get rid of the whites. I'm going to save the whites. Maybe I'll eat it later. And I'm putting it in a bowl. The reason I'm doing it in this bowl is because I already have lemon juice in my big bowl, and I don't want to put the yolk in with the lemon juice right now. What do you think is going to happen?
Something.
What if I put yolks and lemon juice together? Just let it sit there.
It's gonna cook.
Yeah, it's going to scramble the eggs. It's going to cook the eggs. So because I'm not ready to get cooking yet, I'm keeping them separate. All right, that's done. The recipe calls for 2 egg yolks. That's it. If you were making more, then you could double the recipe. All right, so I have my yolks. I have my lemon juice ready to go. We're using a double boiler. Now, what's a double boiler? I have water simmering in my pot. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, water simmering in my pot, and I have my bowl, so I have all the ingredients ready to go. So only then can you combine the egg yolks and the lemon juice. So here I go. I got a whisk. I'm putting my yolks in with the juice, and I'm going to give it a head start, and I'm scrambling. Doesn't seem like a lot, but this is good for 1, maybe 2 poached eggs. So it's going to grow. Okay. So now I'm going to go on my double boiler. And we're going to whisk this until we warm up the yolks. And it's going to almost double in volume. And how do you know it's doubling in volume? Kind of gets pale in color. Trying to manage 2 computers at once. Almost impossible. I also have in another pot butter. 1/4 cup of butter that's melted. So that's all ready to go as well. So the heat from this double boiler is allowing these egg yolks to get warmer, which is allowing them to get thicker. You have to be careful because if your water is too hot, you're going to scramble those egg yolks.
How hot does that have to be?
Right now, it's simmering. Okay, I'm going to show you. See, it's getting lighter and thicker. And you got to keep moving. You can't just walk away from this. Because if you walk away, they're going to scramble. You have to keep it moving. I am almost there. And again, it still looks like very little, but we still have a 1/4 cup of butter to add to it. All Okay, I'm ready. So it's pale and thick, and I don't want to stop because I don't want to scramble it. Okay, so you could do this one or two ways. You could do this off the heat, or if you're very careful, you could do it on the heat. You can turn this off, keep it on here, and keep it moving. So we're gonna add this butter a little bit at a time. And again, the lecithin in these egg yolks are gonna help us keep that emulsion. So very little. See, drips. Can you see me dripping butter?
Yeah.
Okay. So after each addition, you're gonna keep it moving. A little bit more.
We're not put it all at once.
No. If you add it all at once, that emulsion is gonna go out the window. Thank you for asking that. Dribble, dribble. So I'm taking it off the heat because it's very thick. Yeah, I'm going to show you. Look how thick it's getting, right? So what I'm going to do is grab a towel. This is going to make it easier while because this is two-handed. So I'm going to drip some more butter. And just keep it going. I'm almost done with my butter. I'm just getting a little water. And because it's so thick, I'm going to add a little bit of water just to thin it out. Remember, Sabrina, we did this last year? Whoa, yeah. I'm going to show it to you in a second. Tiny bit more water. Now, what I'm going to do is taste it, see what it needs. Remember, I haven't put my cayenne in there yet at all. Okay, let's get a spoon. Oh, let me show you actually what it looks like. Can you see? Let me remove the...
Yeah, you can see. You could see.
Remove the whisk. Ah. Okay, so it's thinned out, it's pale yellow, and it's saucy. I'm just gonna grab a spoon. Oh my God. Wow. It's very rich. It's lemony. And just a tiny, tiny bit. Can you see I'm just like sprinkling it on top? It's all you need. Unless you like it super spicy. It's really not supposed to be spicy. But if you like it spicy, then of course you're home, you could add more. Salt. Pinch of salt. Goes in at the end. Now pepper, very important. You must add pepper to this, but what happens if you put black pepper in here?
It's gonna show like the speckles of black peppers.
Exactly. If you put black pepper, you will see the specks of black. And a typical Hollandaise sauce, that is not allowed. If you were at home, you could do whatever you want. But if you're working in a restaurant, white pepper goes in here, so you do not see it. Does that make sense? But I don't have white pepper. Shh, don't tell anybody.
How much more expensive is it? Same price or?
What are we talking about?
Wait, is it more expensive or?
I think it's the same price. Okay, so actually, you can see, maybe you can't see. I didn't put that much in, but it kind of ruins the visual of the sauce when you add black pepper. I don't know, can you see?
Not really.
Not really, but I can. I mean, I can see.
Yes.
So if you were, I mean, that's just the rule of the culinary world, that this should be clean yellow. But again, I'm home, so whatever. So my sauce is done. I am going to get a piece of plastic, and I'm going to put it on the surface of the sauce. So this is very important, because if I just left it like this, you get a skin. So I'm going to I'm going to show you what I'm doing in a second. See, it's right on top of the sauce. Oh, there you go. Reason I do that is because I'm not eating it right now. This is a type of sauce that should be used kind of right away. But I want to make the poached egg. So I'll use it in like 7 minutes. So I'm just going to put this aside. It may need to be reheated, which is fine. I'll reheat it. Poached eggs. Poached eggs are the most wonderful thing ever created, in my opinion. One of them.
I think I like that too, to be honest. So good.
Poached eggs?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm using the same water.
You weigh all the eggs you eat or boiled. Regular eggs, not into. They're not like that.
Poached eggs, not everybody likes poached eggs. But again, that's okay. You like what you like. But poached eggs are delicious because of the consistency of that runny egg. If you do not like that consistency, then you are not gonna like a poached egg. So you need a pot of simmering water. So I'm using the same pot that I did for my double boiler. Why not? Clean water. Why get another pan going? So that's going to take a minute to heat up. So I'm going to need a lid. All right, so I have that ready. I might as well, it's going to get hotter this way. So I'll leave that. What else do I need? I need an egg. That would be good, right? Let me get an egg. All right, so when you're making poached eggs, fresh eggs are the best because they'll hold their shape better in the water. If you have older eggs, they might bleed a little bit. These probably are not the freshest eggs, but we'll see. Okay, so I cracked it in a little bowl. This way, I can pour it right into the water. You don't want to crack an egg because you might get a shell in there, God knows. So when you make a poached egg, it should go in a bowl first. My water is still, let me pump up this heat a little so I can get it simmering. In this water, very important, white vinegar. So that's going to help it, actually it's going to help it with flavor, and it's going to help it not feather out, hold its shape a little better. So I'm literally putting a cap full. Oh, here we go. So now I'm boiling. I'm going to lower it a bit because I just want it to simmer. Let's put it on 4. All right, so I got my vinegar in there. No salt. Before I put my egg in, I want to make sure I have a slotted spoon so I could get it out. And I also have a towel because I want to get rid of all the liquid, the moisture, once it comes out. Also, I'm going to set up my English muffin. Now, I don't have an English muffin, I have a flatbread. But we're going to pretend it's an English muffin. So I have that ready to go. And I'm only making 1 poached egg because I'm not going to eat 2. So when we actually do this in class, if you don't think you're going to eat 2, just grab half of an English muffin. And I'll remind you of that when the time comes. Okay. Because you don't make a sandwich, right? We're not making a sandwich. This is an open-faced situation. I'm going to drop the egg, shut the heat, covered 5 minutes. Set a timer for 5 minutes. That's it. So once I drop my egg, I'm going to talk about the procedures here for a little bit. Okay, so here we go. We're simmering. Right? Little bubbles. It's not a full boil, right? You just see a couple of bubbles hitting the surface. If it were boiling, it would be big bubbles. Okay. So let's see if I can do this. So carefully, you're just not going to throw it in. I'm carefully dropping the egg in.
Why careful?
Because if you dump it in, it's just you could crack the yolk. I'm going to answer that more. Let me just set my timer. Uh-oh. Okay. So if you just dump the egg in, you're going to crack your yolk, and possibly. The egg is going to go all over the place, possibly. You just want to gently drop it in. You could do 2 at a time. Separate bowls, though. So you dump one, crack it, dump the other, cover it. 5 minutes. Turn off the heat. You know what I forgot, though? I put my oven on 150 degrees, and I meant to leave this in to get it warm, leave it warm, and I forgot to do that. So we'll see. All right, so waiting for this. I pretty much have everything else ready. I have a scallion that I want to chop. I'll do that in a minute. So I want to talk to you about the way I just did all this. So remember I said to you before there are like 9 ways to skin a cat? Remember that? Anybody know what that means?
No, that's pretty brutal.
It is brutal. But what it means is there are many ways to do the same thing. So because I'm showing you this way, I feel like this is the easiest way for you guys to do this job. There are many other ways to make hollandaise sauce. If you have a hand blender at home, you know that thing? You can use that. So you don't have to whisk. You can use a blender to do it. But when you go to culinary school, this is the way they're going to teach you how to do it, I feel. Over the double boiler. So that's why I'm teaching you how to do it that way. But just so you know, there are other ways to make hollandaise sauce. And if anybody tells you there's only one way, get new friends. Same thing with the poached egg. There are quite a few ways to do it. I find this method works for me, and it's simple, right? I'm not doing anything. I just dump the egg in there. But there are some people who leave no lid, who do it for shorter amount of time, longer amount of time. I just find this is the easiest way to do it. Because it's not, I didn't really do anything. I just put a raw egg in some water and covered it up. 3 minutes left. Let me chop. So typically you put parsley on top. I don't have parsley, but I have scallions. So I'm going right here. Got a scallion. I'm chopping off. So when you're waiting that 5 minutes for the egg, you don't open it. If you open it, you're going to lose heat, and then it won't cook properly. It might take longer to cook. I love putting kosher salt on top of the egg. I'm going to do that later. Because I have 13 seconds left, I'm going to start with my hollandaise, and actually it's kept it nice and warm. 150 degrees in the oven. And there's the 5 minutes. So let's see. Okay, I'm just going to gently move it around, make sure it's not sticking to the bottom of my pan. Gently with the spatula, lift it up. You can't see.
Okay, we can see now, Miss
Okay.
Ross.
Can you, I don't know, can you see it's soft in the middle? By me touching it? Okay, so
Yeah.
patting it down a little bit. Now this is huge, oh my God. So you, like an English muffin, it would be a perfect size.
Hmm.
So here's my poached egg. We get our sauce. And again, I'm just gonna taste it to make sure I didn't taste it after I put all that stuff in. Oh man. Wow. Okay. Drizzle. Little drizzle. Oh, now you see the black pepper, right? See over there?
Yes. I don't have white pepper either. I always use black. But
Yeah.
I know for this, it's not to be seen.
Right. All right. And now I got my, whatchamacallits, scallions. It's a little bit on top. You know what I should have done to make it fancy? I should have cut it. I'm so mad now.
Oh, to trim the bread?
I could have done that. I'm so mad at myself.
I need to do it now.
Hang on, I'm gonna cut my bread. Now an English muffin is larger than this, but you know, I'm in a rush. Let's see if I can do this without totally messing it up. The smallest eggs Benedict there ever was. Now this could be stretched to two, you know, to two poached eggs. That's basically it. What do you think? Okay, let me just show this camera.
Looks delicious, Miss Ross.
All right, so now, wait, we ain't done yet. Let's cut it open. Oh. See that ooze? That's exactly what you want. Now if you, what was that?
So good. So good.
If you've never had a runny egg before, may I suggest that you at least taste it. Just taste it. If it horrifies you, I'm not gonna make you eat it. I just want you to know how to make a proper poached egg. And 5 minutes, it's the perfect thing. So you can make it once, this way, and then, because we're gonna have to practice this a couple of times, I'm sure. When you make it again, you can make it a little firmer so that you can eat it. So now when you eat this, the fat is so rich from the yolks and the Hollandaise sauce, but then you get that lemon, that acid that cuts the film. So it's like the perfect blend of flavor and texture in your mouth. The acid and the fat. Because fat is probably the best thing taste-wise. Our mouths love fat. Because fat, and I mean, that sounds weird and funny, but fat melts perfectly in our mouth because of our body temperature. And we're well suited to eat fat. Butter melts perfectly in our mouths at our body temperature. And that's why we love it so much.